Been doing a little Easter egg hunt here, cleaning the stuff up, and here's a starter motor. I'm trying to figure out how it goes in here, but put the flywheel on. That okay, it has to go like this somehow. Oh, no, it goes right there, and then there's a spot down here that it goes into. And I found this little bracket that goes right there. I'll have to find the bolts for that. There should be another bracket here. I haven't found that yet. All this stuff was not on the motor when I bought it, so hopefully that bracket exists somewhere here in my stash of stuff. I haven't seen it though. So I was looking around in my bolt pile, and it's getting down there. So this bracket definitely goes there. And I found these two bolts. They're the only ones that will thread into there, and they're the right length. Look at that. So they're the right length, so these are the right bolts for this bracket. But I can't find the bracket up here. I think I might have found the bolts that go to it. These two are the only two I have left that will fit there. What's the bracket look like? I don't know. I'm gonna go online and see if I can look at the manual and see what that bracket looks like. But I don't have anything here that looks like fits there. Might have to buy one. Find one on eBay maybe, hopefully. I don't know why this metal, unless there's some kind of a clip or something that clips into there. But this guy would go in like this. Somewhat. Tighten that down. Something goes on there. I don't know what. I'll go up and look at my manual or the online parts. Mercury's parts catalog is awesome online. Shows all exploded views of all this stuff. It's very helpful. Okay guys, I went and looked at the parts manual, and it's a bracket that comes around here. It ties over here, I guess. And I looked up the part number, and you can buy a new one from Mercury for $150. Or there's a reputable boat company that I've purchased from before, and they have it on sale for $105. I went on eBay, and there's several people that are selling it for $38 to $40. One guy has a new old stock for 20 bucks. I thought, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll order 20 bucks. But gosh, it seems like I've seen this somewhere, but I don't know where. I've looked all over and I can't find it. And then, since I'm not going to be using the oil system, I kind of put this off to the side. Look what I found. This is the, what do they call it, the reserve? It's the overflow. So it goes right in here like that. So I'll put him back in. I won't put any oil in it, but that's the bracket. Happy I don't have to, 20 bucks wouldn't have been bad, but it'd set me back another week, so cool. Well, let's just see how this fits in there. I'll probably end up taking it back out, but it's kind of fun just to see how it fits. These guys here look to be the right length. That lined up a little bit off. What's the deal with that? What's that catching on? I wonder if I have to spin this. Aha! Yes, you do. It only goes in one way. The motor, I had to, hold on. There's a little bracket here that spins and tightens, and then it just fits right in place. So that starter motor will only go on one way, which I suppose is good. You don't want it to spin. Yeah, it's looking good in the neighborhood. Do I have a wrench for that thing somewhere? Is that thing? 7/16? Oh, good guess. Got my high dollar wrenches out here. That'll probably take this out for some odd reason. I don't know why, but probably to run some of these lines. Just kind of see. I want to see what it looks like. It's never been together before since I bought it. This motor's getting heavier all the time. This starter motor is heavy. I bet that thing weighs 20 pounds, 15. That's good. All right. Found my 5/16 nut driver. Tighten this one up. All right, this isn't the overflow. It's, I don't know, what you call it, a head tank? Oil will overflow if the cap is loose. That's what the sticker says. So this cap will go on top of there somehow. See, the start motor's there, so it's gotta go like that. And like that. And I'm missing, actually, come on there. There's another standoff over here that got damaged. So I'm gonna have to maybe buy a new one for that. I could probably buy that online or locally. It's just a stud, stainless steel stud. That's what it'll look like. Oh, it's getting there. The tricky part now, I'm cleaning up all my electronics are dusty and dirty and stuff the way they when I purchased them. So clean those all up, and then I'll have to figure out how they bolt on. Okay, we have our pile of wire, electronics. It came in a box, so I took a few connectors apart. I took pictures of them first before I did. They're all color coded except for one, and I'm sure that would have thrown me when I put it back together. So I know where that one goes for my pictures. I think this is called a trigger. I think it goes on first, and I'm just sitting there trying to, okay, how's this thing go in here? There's some kind of an arm here. What's that connect to? I'm guessing the throttle. Maybe some kind of throttle advance or something. But I messed with it for a while, and finally I think I figured out how it goes. It's got to go in like this, underneath that. And then, if you can see, hold on a second. Move it over here a little bit for you guys. I think this must go to the throttle, and there's some kind of a, to me that looks like it advances, possibly. I don't know where this goes. I don't see how it connects here to this linkage, but maybe there's another linkage inside the boat. So, thinking that's where that goes. And then, this Getcher, whatever it is called, coil, something or other. I believe goes like this. Looks like it fits in there. And I'm looking at these holes in the top. Looks like they used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes here. So it looks like it would line up like this. So I already did some digging around in my stash of screws. And I think these guys are the ones. I only have 3 that have lock washers on them though. So I might need to get some new lock washers. Maybe they don't all need lock washers. Screw them in here. I would think you'd want lock washers on all of them. Where does this one go? Here, I guess. And I'm going to need my hex keys. Where'd I put them, guys? Hold on. Wouldn't you know it, the one I'm missing is the one I need. Must be a common size. Looks like is that 5/32? This one's 3/16. It's not the 3/16. I've got a bazillion of these, so hold on, we'll find it. Alright, couldn't find my normal size one, but I got this little dude which fits. I really should get a washer on there because I snug this all down and forget about it. It could pop out of there. Pretty tiny lock washer. It's not very big. Don't know if I'll have that size or not. Okay, does that advanced thing still work? Oh yeah, look at that. Still moves. Just cool. That definitely, I think those are the right screws. Well, let's see if I can find a lock washer for those two. Okay, I went through my stash of screws and lock washers and washers, and I have washers that size. I don't have lock washers that size. So I made a note on my notes to replace these before I start it. That's going to get checked off. So this is the trigger plate, and this is called the stator. I think the trigger plate, does it create electricity for the ignition, and this is like an alternator for charging up the battery, possibly? I think there's actually two. They, that as the flywheel is made out of metal, it's got magnets on it, and as it spins, it induces a electrical field. And I believe this one charges the battery, and the inside one runs the electronics or the spark plugs. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. I'll change it later when I read the book, and I'll let you know. That's why I should never take any video for the gospel, because most of them are wrong. I see a lot of YouTube videos out there that are very helpful, but there's usually something wrong in them. A lot of times. So, for entertainment purposes only, guys. Okay, just trying to figure out where things go. This will probably all come apart again, but just trying to get a feel for where all these wires go. This guy goes on here. Just like that. So when he spins, making electricity. Okay, now, wait till you see all this stuff. I still gotta figure out where all this garbage goes. I'm hoping it bolts on here somewhere instead of bolting onto the boat. I see a lot of spots where it could go. Oh, wait a minute. No, doesn't go there. you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fumble around with it. I'll turn it back on when I figure it out. Okay, I'm looking at the manual, and it looks like this plate mounts over here somehow, and this plate on the other side. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out where these holes line up and how do I guide these wires so they don't pinch and are in the right spot. Yeah. So this thing, module, ECM, whatever it is, mounts there. You can see there's hole there, there's 3 holes there, and I think, and this is a hex hole, I'm guessing that these little guys mount in there like that. There's several of these. I've got about a dozen of these, so hopefully there's some more I need to use somewhere. But for these 3, get out of there. And I've got 3 bolts that seem to match up these holes. About the right length. Put these in here, stick this in, keep it from wiggling around. Maybe. Got lined up? Yeah, sort of. Oh, get in there. There we go. This one in here. Alright, puzzle's going together. Excuse me, Mr. Pressure Washer. Alright, if I move you out of the way a little bit. Alright, which one? Of course, that's the wrong size. How about this one? There we go. Alright, I don't think those have to be too snug. I just to mount it there. Alright, let's see if we can figure out how this plate mounts to this block. Let me do some more messing around. Okay, after looking at the manual, it's not a color picture, but you can see that this connector should be on top. This should be, so this thing's upside down. So I'm going to have to move this guy out of the way so I can flip it. Flip it. Can I come down and flip it, Brian? Alright. So I've probably got a twist of wires here, but try to keep as many connected as I can. Oh yeah. There's a bracket. Those line up perfectly, just like that. Let me mess with the wires and see if I can find the bolts that connect those guys. So I've been scratching my head figuring out where all these go. And there's 8 left. I used 2 already. So they're for those rubber standoffs. But there's this one big one. I thought, where does that go? Well, he goes right there. But and probably these washers, I imagine, should be in there. Guessing. I don't know. Well, you know, I could look at the manual. The manual will show if there's supposed to be a washer there or not. I'll check that out. Alright, so I've got these 2. They look like they've been painted, so probably go here. I wish I could unconnect these wires and disconnect these wires. This guy has to go in here. It's getting tight. It's hard to get your fingers in here. Wonder if I can, got this extension. Maybe I can, if I had the next longer extension, it might be easier. It's definitely, it's made to go through there. Tight fit. Come on. Talk to me, Goose. All right. I'm gonna have to take this back off anyway because there's bleed lines that I need to put in there. Can you see? I can't see. Man. What a mess. All right, there's that one. Kind of loosely fitted. This guy, let's see if we can get him started. There's a nice little hole here, which is nice. Can I get it started? Maybe. Come on. Yep, got it. All right. I'm gonna just finger tighten that because I'm gonna be taking it back out. But maybe I can, make sure I'm not pinching any wires. Doesn't look like it. Definitely gotta make these look prettier. I'm gonna mess with that. Okay, so I did a little more digging around. I think this is the heat sensor for the cylinder head. I would think it would go in a little bit tighter than that. It's kind of a loose fitting deal. But there's this clamp. Does that go like that? That just seems, it doesn't fit flush on there. That just doesn't seem right. I can do a little more digging around on that one. But that definitely goes there. That's the clamp that goes there. And I figured out where this goes. It doesn't go on the opposite side. It actually goes on the head, on top of the, not the head, the exhaust. How does that go? Like this. No, that's not right. Like this. Where's the space? No. Does not go like that. It's gotta go. This. I think that would be on the outside. Oh gosh, does that go underneath? It goes underneath. And I found these 4 standoffs. I'm thinking, you know, those look like they would go right on here. Keep these from hitting the bolts on that exhaust splitter. Yeah, it looks like it goes there. Sweet. I'm running out of parts. Still have a few here. A lot less though. Well, I'm going to go back in the manual and look and see what kind of bolts do they need. I have these nuts here that have nylon inserts. They seem like overkill. I don't think that's what goes there. So I'm going to do some research to find out what actually goes on there and hold those 4 on and try to figure out how does that heat sensor go in there. But we're getting there. Okay, tracking down some more parts and where they go. This ground, I'm looking in the manual. I can see from the picture that this ground goes to this bolt on the starter cap, the lower starter cap. So we're gonna put this on. I had it on, I thought, all right, I'll take it back off and show you guys what I did. Just don't want to leave you out on too many things. All right, and this one goes up here, according to the book, which makes sense because it's about the only thing it can reach. I found a couple washers, lock washers, the local Ace Hardware. So these cap screws all have lock washers now on them. I had to take this out a couple times because the advance for the trigger, I put it in backwards and I couldn't figure out what I did wrong. There's a Facebook group, Mercury Power Sea-Doo owners, and a guy on there told me what I did wrong, which was very helpful. I was hoping to get a picture of someone's installation of this motor just so I could see where the wires get routed through, and I haven't found one on the internet. I found a couple that are close but not quite, a lot of fuel injection boats out there, and it's not the same as a carbureted 210 horse 2000, and there's just not that many pictures of this engine out there, and I can figure it out, but it'd be nice to see what it looked like from stock. Loosen this up so I can spin that a little bit so it's not torquing out too much. This is the bracket that held the oil tank. The oil tank for the, I don't know what they call it, the header tank or whatever, but since I'm not going to be using it, saving some weight, took it off. Got it over there. If I sell the boat, I'll sell it for the next owner in case he wants to put the oil injection back on. So, all right, that's these guys. Let me show you what we did over here. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it or not. Man, come here, buddy. This motor getting heavier all the time. Oh, all right. So this throttle arm, I had this linkage flipped around. It was going the other way, so and so these stops weren't lining up. This stop wouldn't hit. I thought, well, that's not right, because this stop has to hit there, this stop has to hit there. And the guy says, yeah, you just got to spin this thing around. So I spun that linkage around, and it looks like it's the right length. Looks like it does what it's supposed to do. But I need a spring. Can't find the spring in the box or the pile of junk that they gave me. So I ordered a new spring. There's a spring that goes in here. I thought I needed bushings and stuff, but they're all there. So I've got that. Ordered a couple of nuts and new fuel or new tubing for these bleed lines and fuel lines coming from boat.com. I like that company. They have a lot of good parts for Mercury engines, and so yeah, that's going to be showing up. But here's where we're at. We're getting close. I'm excited to put this in the boat, guys. Oh yeah, I also put on this heat shield. It's a little metal heat shield, probably so this bottom carburetor doesn't get too much heat compared to the other ones. Just deflects it off, and the attenuator connects in there like that. And they say, I read somewhere in the book, don't run the engine without that attenuator at high RPMs. It can create a lean condition and blow up your motor. I don't know if that's true or not. I know guys have velocity stacks on these guys, and of course they probably tune it for that lean condition too. So anyway, we're getting close. All right, we're gonna clean this up a little bit. Probably just made it so it'll rust now. I don't think so. Alright, so this is the, can you see that? The other end of the solenoid. Here's where the positive battery connects here. Flip the solenoid on, key switch. Power will go to the starter through this guy. Come on. Don't want that touching anything. It's not like it's gonna wear out, but I just don't want it to. Ground, chance of it grounding on metal. All right. Cool, cool. Okay, I only have a few wires left. I've been tracing them down in the manual, double checking. This brown wire, tan wire, goes as this brown. I thought that just doesn't look right, but I double checked it and ran it back to where it went to the ECM, and it's where it goes. So runs back to this inside connector box down here. So I'm down to this guy. I thought, okay, where do these guys go? I followed it back to the was it the ECM? Yeah, I followed it back, and this guy goes to the fuel enrichment valve, which I'm thinking it's got to be this guy right here. Look at that, purple and yellow and black. So it's got to be here. So save you guys some time, I looked and looked and looked. So where in the heck does this go? And they're labeled in the book A, B, and C. I imagine they put out the same amount of fuel, so it probably doesn't matter. They're all the same length. The book shows that this valve mounts like this. And so we've got a connector here. And I'm sure there's supposed to be a clamp on that, so we will put a clamp on it later, but I'm just showing you where it goes. Second carburetor down here, and third carburetor down here. Come on, baby, talk to me. All right, he's in there. Now, there's a bracket, and it doesn't show, but I'm thinking it's got to be this, because it fits in there perfectly. I think it fits in there perfectly. Fits on that. So where does this guy go? And I'm looking for two holes somewhere in the manifold or someplace around here in the block that it can go to. And the manual shows that it mounts like this. With these two on this side and this one on this side. I'm thinking, how is that? I don't see anywhere. Oh, and it says it's on the second carburetor. It mounts on those mounting bolts on the carb. So I'm going to have to take this line off, take these carb bolts off, and that's where it mounts. I never saw it come off, but the book shows that's where it's at. So we're going to take this off and pop this on. So I put this bracket for this, I think this is an enrichment valve. Goes right in there. And the bracket screws onto the carburetor, so I had to take these carbs off to get this line so stiff. I took this carburetor off and then got this bracket on there. So probably don't need to see me screw this thing on. I just wanted to show you what I did to get this guy in. So he goes in there, and each one of these lines goes to each carburetor.